Tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies.
Looking here at a live view from the MU, we have 46 degrees Fahrenheit as our temperature with winds coming from the west at 10 miles an hour. It currently feels like 41 degrees and we have a dew point of 36. Looking ahead, some of our favorite spots of Iowa, Cedar Rapids is at 48 and Des Moines is at 47.
Plus, Jason has your national forecast. All that and more as this Tuesday, November 19th edition of Size Eyes on the Skies starts now.
Broadcasting live from the studios at Iowa State University, the Iowa State Meteorology Department brings you the latest weather from across the country and out your front door. This is Size Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening. I'm your host, Kelly Radelet, and we will begin with tonight's weather story. On this day in 1981, the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the past home of the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Twins, was damaged by the weight of heavy snow. Almost a foot of snow was reported, which weighed heavily on the newly inflated roof, causing it to tear and collapse. After completely deflating, the rip was repaired and the roof was reinflated. And now to discuss more with what's happening around the country, here's Jason with your national forecast.
All right, this week we got cooler temperatures in the Midwest. We have a bomb cyclone off the West Coast, and we have a snowstorm for the northern United States.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back. Now let's go to the national forecast with Jason. So it's looking like it's pretty eventful off the West Coast, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy cyclone out there. A lot of rain coming to the California area. So let's look at those current temperatures. We'll zoom in on the Northeast. We got 44 up in Maine and 55 down in New York. Zooming into the Southeast, we got warm, 77 in Miami. Wish I was there right now. We got 62 up in Atlanta and 64 up in Memphis. Looking onward to the Southwest, it's a chilly 40 in Santa Fe, but it warms up as you move south into Phoenix, and we got a 55 up in San Francisco. And up in the Northwest, we got a 45 in Seattle, and you can see the start of our cold air blast moving in with a 32 in Billings and a 44 in Boise. So let's look around the country and see that cold air just streaming in down from Canada. We can see a 23 in Billings, a 35 in Minneapolis, and a 38 in Kansas City, but it stays warm down in the Southeast with a 63 in Atlanta and a 74 in Miami. As we move into your Wednesday afternoon, the cold air will expand, and you can see that it's actually colder in Minneapolis than it was overnight. So this cold air is strong and it's moving in with a vengeance. And as we move into Thursday, this cold air expands all the way to the East Coast. We got a 42 up in Caribou, a 50 in Norfolk, and a 51 in Denver. As we move into our satellite radar, I want to focus on this bomb cyclone off the West Coast in the Pacific Northwest. Here you can just see that circulation, how tightly the air is circulating around that low pressure. And we see all this precipitation occurring in Washington, Oregon, California. They're going to get a lot of rain over these next couple days as we see this moisture just stream in off the West Coast. And we also have our first big snowstorm of the year as we see much of the country is getting snow. Up here in Canada, it's up to 10 inches of snowfall possible, and even more out on the West Coast in those higher elevations. Those mountain peaks will see multiple feet of snow. As we move into the states, North Dakota, you're going to see 3 to 5 inches of snow. There's going to be spotty snow around an inch or two in the Midwest and Ohio area, and slightly more in the New York, Pennsylvania corridor. So, looking to the week ahead, we're going to look at Portland, Oregon, as they're going to get hit by that bomb cyclone. Wednesday, you'll get some rain. It'll be around 50, and that rain will continue on into Thursday. You'll get a break on Friday. It'll keep raining into your Saturday, Sunday, Monday, as temperatures stay around 50 degrees.
It's time for our trivia question for the evening. What was the first Category 5 of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season? Was it A, Alberto, B, Beryl, C, Chris, or D, Debbie? We'll have that answer for you at the end of the show, plus we'll have our Iowa weather after the break. Welcome back. Let's take a look at your Iowa weather with Maggie. So it's looking like we're finally getting into those cooler temperatures, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to some possible chances of snow. All right, looking at the radar currently, we have a little bit of rain down in our south part of Iowa. And then in Ames, it's pretty clear, maybe a couple spotty showers, but nothing crazy going on there. Right now it's 46 degrees, winds coming at 10 miles an hour from the west. We have a feel like of 41 degrees and a dew point of 36. Looking at some of our spots, Ames is 45, Fort Dodge is 43, and Spencer's 42. Our dew points are pretty low, 36 in Ames, 35 in Waterloo, and 41 in Decorah. Currently in Ames, we have 33 degrees this evening, and it'll be clearing up a little bit later tonight. Southwest winds at 18 miles an hour. Currently looking at some lows, we're at 33 in Ames, 31 in Fort Dodge, and 31 in Carroll. And then going through tomorrow morning, it's going to be a pretty chilly one, so you're definitely going to want your coat on your walk to class. Going to warm up a little bit maybe during the day, but then Thursday morning is going to be even colder, so definitely going to need that snow hat. Thursday night, same thing, that cold air from Canada is just pushing through. Looking at our drought monitor, it's still pretty dry, even though we did get some rain, but hopefully that will get better eventually. Looking at our week ahead, Wednesday and Thursday are going to be pretty cold and windy. Definitely going to need to bundle up for that. We have some sunshine this weekend, and then back into the clouds next week.
Thank you, Maggie, for that forecast. And now for our trivia question. What was the first Category 5 of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season? Was it A, Alberto, B, Beryl, C, Chris, or D, Debbie? What do you guys think?
I'm thinking this season has some pretty strong storms. I'm going to go A,
Alberto.
What do you think, Maggie? I'm going to agree with that one. Go with A, Alberto.
Yeah. I'm going to switch things up. I'll put Chris. And the answer is B, Beryl. Hurricane Beryl was the earliest forming Category 5 hurricane on record, as it formed on June 28th, 2024, and it dissipated on July 11th. That's definitely an early system.
Yeah, luckily that was one of our biggest hurricanes of the year.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch.
Definitely. That concludes tonight's show. Please be sure to follow us on X/Twitter, and you can find all of our shows on YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night. Slay.